So,
Um, but
okay, now we move on
oh,
to the
Louis
European ones. We are going to,
Louis the 13th. Okay, so
yes,
this is 1600 to 1643. That's when he reigned. So
yes.
this is
Beat, could you
early
read that
modern.
for us? Can you read that for us?
Oh yeah, it's very clear. Armor and horse barding attributed to Louis the 13th, 1601 to 1643. These pieces were given to Napoleon the Third by the Empress Eugenie and are almost certainly one of the last great sets of riding armor to have been forged in Europe. The armory used elements from barding bearing the mark of a Milan master craftsman from the early 16th century and enhanced them with the same decorations as the rest of the armor. The lighter companion pieces, Bergenet and Rondache, with a lion's mask, brassards and gorget, are for ceremonial use. The extraordinary quality of the armour suggests that it belonged to Louis XIII, King of France, with further proof offered by the huge fleur-de-lis created in the 19th century, which tops the armet. So armet's a helmet.
Yes. Look at this.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh
Now we'll
my
show.
God, this is so impressive, Pete. Look at
Yeah,
this.
that is exceptional, isn't it?
It is.
And you can see 1600, the leg armor and everything's more cuirassier type armor than the
It's,
plate armor of the previous period. The helmet, the Bergenet, is
it's
it's a bit big.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah. This.
Lamborghini, Ferrari,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. And bearing in mind, this level of plate armor has to be made for the owner.
Of
It
course.
has to be form fitted. You can't it you can't just go into a shop and say I'll have a number five. It doesn't work like that. You
Yeah.
have to turn up and they have to measure you and make little casts. I mean, people are doing it today. If you
Yeah.
have a look on the internet, you'll find people ordering armor like this and showing you how it's
Yeah.
fitted. And but that is
I have
stunning.
seen many, Europeans who have ordered armor made for them, so they fight with it. As you know, on our channel, you can see it as well. They move very well. They fight on it. But the thing is, it's only made for them. My Persian armor made for me. If I can give it to someone and he can readjust it a
Yeah.
bit, and then he can use it, right?
This is the whole thing. Even the horse's armor is made for that horse.
Yeah.
What happens when your horse? I mean, you pick a horse of the same size, I suppose. I don't know. But yeah, this is the problem. It's incredibly expensive to have made, and it only fits one person. Oh, sure, there might be, somebody else in France that it would fit. Maybe there's 1,000 people it would fit, but none of them probably have enough money to buy it. The king can buy it.
Yeah, of
The you
course.
know the Duc d'Orléans can buy it,
Yes.
but yeah, this is where European armor went off course a bit. It became so customized that it only fitted one person. I know there are munition armors, so there might be a large, a small, and whatever, and they don't fit quite so tightly or so smoothly. They also probably are not quite so comfortable to wear either.
Yeah.
Um, I've tried on a plate and mail when I was much thinner, a plate and mail armor
Mm.
of 16th, 17th century,
Yeah.
and that would fit about five different sizes of person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, and I mean, yeah, the male shirts and that they are often fitted, but they still fit quite a few people because they flex. Lamellar armor is absolutely a joy.
Yeah.
I lent the lamellar armor I made, and I am 166 centimeters tall. And when I made it, I wasn't as round as I am now. And I lent it to somebody who was, I think, about 185 centimeters tall, and it worked perfectly on him as
Yeah.
well.
Namera works.
Yeah, so there's a lot of flexibility in it. But again, in an army at this period,
Yeah.
you would be unlikely. I mean, Burgundy was really rich, so they had quite large numbers of armored horsemen in the late 1400s. So it's 100 years before this. This is a more flexible style of armor in terms of fitting. Uh, and you wouldn't have more than in a 7,000 person army. You would be lucky to have 1,000 people with armor at this level. I don't know. I've not seen statistics, but my guess it would be actually lower than that, maybe 500.
So we
Whereas,
look at this, the way he faced the horseman in front, the king, like this.
yeah. See, looking at this, you can see how the armor is meant to work. Um, the underside of the horse's neck in this particular armor is not protected.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, that's a lot of weight you don't have to carry because this is not people say that, oh, these are not as heavy as you think. They're quite heavy. They're not outrageously heavy because they are made to be worn and to be used. But if you take away like a strip of steel this long and this wide, that runs up underneath the horse's neck, rivets, straps, whatever, that's going to ease the horse. The horse is going to be more able to bend its head. And when you think about it, if the horse puts its head slightly down, the chamfron protects that part of the neck. You would
yeah.
have to,
No,
it wouldn't be easy to get there.
no, it's one.
But the problem is, this is 16, well, I would assume in the 1620s or something like that. Um, there are a lot of people with guns around then. This is good armor to protect you from swords and spears and longbows and crossbows. But guns, but look at how I I don't know how to describe this, but the round protrusions on the breastplate of that armor, the breast cover of that armor, that would actually change. Assuming these are made by really really competent armorers, so they probably kept the thickness quite even. That would make it really hard for something to hit that and penetrate it because it'd be
Yeah,
thrown off at
yeah, yeah.
different angles.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
know it looks very amazing and all that, but um, it's probably practical. That the whole armor is scooped out like that, so anything hitting it's going to
Are they
go off in
hinged,
different
Pete?
directions.
Look at that. They're
Yeah,
hinged.
that looks like it's hinged into three pieces, and possibly notice that the decoration is on the outside pieces, so that when that unhinged, the those two domes would slide over the
Slide
smooth
over.
pieces
Yeah,
on the end.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's really, I mean, the engineering is incredible.
Incredible. Yeah.
Uh, the design is to stop missiles bouncing off and hitting the horse in the legs, so that they're thinking about all kinds of different, things that would be going on. Um, but look at how little of the horseman is visible,
Yeah, look at this.
so that he is well protected there.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
and
Yeah,
and the techniques of riding that they use, often the horse arched its neck and held its head quite
yeah,
high.
yeah,
So that would be all protection for the horseman.
yeah,
It may not have been intended to be, but it would be in practice.
yeah.
Um, that's really, it looks really well balanced. The armor, I mean, bear in mind it's on a mannequin and all that kind of stuff, but it seems to sit very well.
Yeah. And it is
You could
also
imagine that.
partially gilded. Do you see that, Pete?
Oh yeah, there's strips of gilding. I'm guessing that there's all kinds of patterns within that gilding too.
Yeah,
Um, well, there are. Look at on the horse's chanfron. You can see that there's patterns within the gilding.
yeah,
Um, it's interesting that, again, at this period, we're looking in the early 1600s.
yeah,
There's a lot of use of firearms, and they stripped back the cavalry because at one point, German Ritters were all pistoliers, and they gave up the lance and they didn't really charge. They trotted up and went bang, and then turned around and went back, and somebody else went bang. But there came a period when they realized that was really inefficient, and it would be better to have a smaller group of well armored people ready to charge in when there was an opening. Rather, I mean, charging at this period, you would have pike and shot, so you would have squares on the battlefield that were basically invulnerable to cavalry. But there are points when there are breaks in the formation and things are stretched out, and then if you've got cavalry who are under control, who do what they're told. If they're told to charge in and go, break that formation and then get back out again. So the big problem with cavalry was that they would charge, break a formation, and keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, European battles in the 15th, sorry, the 16th and 17th century, because this is 17th century.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
Often the cavalry is off the battlefield, and by the time they get back, the infantry's been beaten, so the battle is lost. Whereas people like Gustavus Adolphus of Sweden had his cavalry under very tight control, and he was very successful.
There is something I need to just mention that because a viewer just wrote yesterday because we are going to talk about it with Bede later. There are some armor, body armor in Musée d'Armée. They have some cannon shots on them. Some of them bullet shots at them. Some of them have testing shots at them. So
Yeah,
they couldn't penetrate. And then there was someone on our channel. He wrote, "Wow, would be all piece of paper against modern firearm." Guys, this is a historical channel, okay? We are comparing what these armor faced back then. If you use an RPG, well, I mean, I don't even know if these kind of statements are even make sense on a historical channel, guys, right? And given the fact as well, again, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure the person who wrote it also is into firearms, but then again, it depends on your caliber. If you're using even today a pistol, or if you're
yeah,
using a rifle, come on, guys. There are different calibers. There are different things. These, I'm not talking about European armor, plate armor. Not only European, could be Persian, Ottoman, whatever. Let's stick to European. These are masterpieces, guys. Do not try
yeah,
to belittle them by just comments like this. This
yeah,
is really out of the place here on a historical channel.
yeah.
I have to
And
say.
the thing to remember is that the guns at the time, I mean, the gunpowder is not as good as modern smokeless propellants or anything
Yes,
like that.
yes,
But we're talking about, say, muskets. Often we're shooting balls that big.
yeah,
We're not talking about small caliber, fast moving projectiles. We're talking about really large, heavy projectiles. The proofing of armor, which was you before you bought your armor, somebody came up to it and shot a pistol at it at point blank range.
yeah,
And the dent from the pistol told you that it was going to stop a pistol bullet. So you were fairly confident that your armor was going to protect you. This is again. There were levels like a pistol bullet at a certain range because of the flight and that may not have had as much energy as when you're up close, which is the reason those pistols in those holsters that we saw on that Mameluke saddle,
yeah,
you the instructions the instructions in the military manuals for cavalry was basically you get up close enough you could put the pistol against the guy's body when you shot. And the pistols also had large calibers, so they'd make a big hole in you. But if you're 50 meters or 100 meters away and somebody shoots at you, then you might not even get hit by the direct flying bullet. It might hit the ground and bounce up and hit you. The armor is going to save your life under those circumstances.
yeah,
Um, it is. I mean, a lot of people look at things like this in terms of, say, a gaming scenario. So you've
yeah.
got you can take people from different periods and put them together, but we've really got to look at armor is designed to defend against the weapons of the time.
That's why, I'm really, I know I don't want to disrespect anyone, or producers who make that. So they make samurai against the European knight, Persian warrior against with the, I mean, these are gaming guys. These, I mean,
If you want to see what happens when Oriental horsemen meet European knights, look at the Ottoman Wars.
yeah,
That's that's where it really happened, and
yeah, yeah,
you can look it up, find out how many battles there were, who won, who didn't win, and
yeah,
that's real.
yes,
Uh, the Persians fought the Ottomans, so
yes,
that's one step removed. I mean, you did get to see, say, the Crimean Tatars in that fight against Western European
yes,
um, uh, uh, fighters and that. But it's not just man on man who wins the fight
No,
between, and
no.
is my gun bigger than your gun kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's tactics and logistics, and
absolutely.
sometimes, some countries could get huge numbers of soldiers into place and have them all willing to fight, and other times it was so difficult to even get a small number of people
Yeah,
through difficult mountainous areas
absolutely.
and stuff like that. So it's much more complicated than whether this gun can shoot a bullet at
Yes,
4,000 feet per second.
yes.
Uh, Incidentally, I think there's been some research done by one of the Hungarian YouTubers
Mm,
um, on the velocity from arquebuses, like early guns,
mm,
matchlocks, and
mm.
because there was a battle site and there was a sandy area, and archaeologists went there and dug it up, and they found all these bullets that had hit the sand and splattered and deformed and everything. And they did all these tests to work out, what was going on. So that there is research on that. And I mean, a lot of people say things in a fairly combative way when they're really just asking a question. How do you know this? How can you work this out? Has anybody done any research on that?
Yeah,
Um, so I mean, I know people that on the internet are very aggressive, but in person ask really sensible questions. So, the internet sometimes makes things look much more aggressive and
yeah.
and difficult
Look at this
than,
one, Pete. From this side.
yeah. Look at See, you notice with this type of armor, it doesn't cover the back of the leg or much of the side of the leg, the thigh I'm talking about.
Mm.
The
Oh,
lower part of
yes,
the leg is very
yes.
well protected,
Here, yes.
but the thigh is protected by this laminated series
Yeah,
of plates,
yeah.
which
Laminated. Yeah,
gives
yeah,
it fits against the thigh really nicely. Um, the saddle is armored as well.
yeah.
It's very difficult to get in there and hit this guy in the thigh. And of course, the femoral arteries, the parts of the leg that are most vulnerable, that will kill you if they get cut,
Yeah, yeah.
are on the
Mm.
inside against the horse.
Immediately.
So this is a very effective armor. Um, it uses less material than an armor of 100 years before would have,
Yeah.
but it's designed specifically for horseback. So the fact that the saddle covers part of it and everything, that's important to take into account.
Okay.
Armor for fighting on foot is entirely different.
Yes. We look at another armor. I mean, this is not on display. It's in the cellar of the museum, right?
Mhm.
So this is another European horse armor, and not only horse armor, but also knight armor. Look at this one.
Mm. I like the way they've done the chest armor with layers. This is very embossed, isn't it? This is
It
a
is.
lot of
Let me
work.
just see one thing. Excuse me, Pete. I wanted to check something here. Where was that? No, no, it was okay. It is okay. Oh yeah, he has also ear protector. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I
But
think
I
that
just wanted to say, in contrast to the Ottoman one and the other one, which is here, exactly. I just wanted to say this, which is
yeah.
complete ear protection. This one seems not to protect the top of the ear.
Well, maybe the horse wanted to feel the breeze. I'm just looking at that chamfron is incredible. I
Beautiful,
like.
isn't it?
I mean, it's been raised into, I think it's meant to be like some kind of lion or dragon, so that
Yeah.
the mouth is down where the nose of the horse is, and its body goes up, and you can see its legs, and it's got a split tail or something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
right. Here. You can see also a
Yeah.
facial expression somehow.
Yeah, yeah. Looks a bit sad. But
Yeah.
I think the tail may be split because to be seen from both sides.
Yeah.
So it looks like the Assyrian Lamassu with five legs, so that you can, from
Yeah.
the front, they've got, yeah. I think that might be that. It's really interesting. Also, the the central extra plate there is in the shape of a shield.
Yeah. Yeah. This one is the shape of a shield. Yeah. We have this
Yeah,
shield.
and the horse's eye protection actually has kind of like protection from the sun, almost like it's a shade to protect its eyes from the sun as
Yeah,
well as
you're
falling
right.
missiles.
Looking down, right?
Yeah, yeah. it's got a kind of I don't know. It's an effect. It just kind of says something. Um, you don't see that often. Uh,
No,
I mean, because they're really quite bulging.
it's
Um,
very beautiful.
yeah, it's again these are we keep thinking of armorers, but these guys were really
They were
sculptors in metal, weren't
sculptors.
they?
Yeah,
I mean, this is
real
beyond just
artists. Well, I have to say that really. Guys,
you've
I
got to
need just
wonder
to mention
sometimes.
it again. Paintings, I'm not an expert on paintings, I just enjoy them watching them. You need to
Mm,
master the brush. Please never forget this. They mastered how to forge and create these things.
yeah, uh,
You never
I think
forget that, guys.
there's people trying to sometimes successfully duplicating this kind of stuff today, and they have such high respect for these ancient masters or old
Yeah,
masters in this case, because this is
unbelievable. Really
I'm
beautiful.
just looking at the knight's armor behind. That guy had a really long neck.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize that. Yeah. Oh God, yeah. What a
Yeah,
knack, you know.
just look over here.
Important to protect it, right?
Oh yeah, well your neck is very vulnerable. It's altogether too many arteries and veins in your neck, plus your spine at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that hurt.
And look at this one, Beat.
Oh wow, that's amazing. The chamfron doesn't offer as much protection, but the petrol of the chest piece is stunning.
Stunning.
Oh,
Look at this. Let me see. Oh, I don't have more pictures. This is beautiful,
mm.
isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it's again, it's hard to just talk about this as armor. It is just sculpture in metal. And of course, the gilding enhances everything too. It's not just um, perfect shape. It's funny because sometimes armor survive and all the gilding has been worn off and polished off and whatever, and you say what beautiful shapes these are. But the man who made it um, had even more stuff to attract your attention than just the perfect shapes. It's like ancient Greek statues. We see them as white marble, but we now know they were painted.
Look at this.
Oh, that's lovely. The helmets are really very good. The horse, so we've got the back of the neck protection there, and that's flames and it's gilded, probably raised patterns
Here,
on the
look at
edges
this.
too.
This is what Beat is talking about. Back of the neck. This is
Yeah,
chamfer. Look.
chamfron is lovely.
Yeah.
I think the simpler the shape of the chamfron, the more it resembles a horse,
Yeah.
the more attractive it looks. Uh, so we've got, I think there are reins either side of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, the reins were quite heavy because the bits had very long shanks, and
Yeah.
you didn't want something where you could pull it really quickly like that. You just give it a little touch. Otherwise, your horse wouldn't like you anymore. See, that's beautiful workmanship. Look at that gilding, the raised patterns, the strips on it.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
And look at this one, Beat.
So that's just the top piece, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it only extends halfway down the horse's face.
Yeah.
Still gives it a lot of protection.
Yeah.
Still having that short ear protection.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Interesting. There are two different styles. One
yeah,
long,
yeah.
one
There's
short.
ones where the ear protection actually mimics the ear, and then there's this one, which is I still think it's very attractive.
Yeah. Very. Look at this one, Beat.
Again, we've got this. It's really protecting the horse's forehead, the
Yeah.
or as in some places forehead. Um, there's some ancient pronunciations preserved in Australian English.
Beat, look.
Oh yeah, aren't they nice?
Mm.
It's incredible to think how much it would have cost to have these made. Because the people that can make these have orders from all over Europe.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of benefit saying I made this for the king or I made this for the Duc
Yeah.
de Berry or whatever, but
Okay. Now we go to
armor of Otto Heinrich
yeah.
and it's complimentary bone.
Yes. Ordered in 1531, right? So let's go and
Yeah.
see. So
So
the
this is
weight
16th
of the
century work.
cavalry armor alone is 33 kilos, as we have it here.
That's not too bad
No,
when you consider how much metal's in that.
yeah.
I mean,
Speed, look.
I mean, it's really nice that they gave you the weight. That's classy for a museum when they think maybe somebody wants to know how much this weighs.
Speed,
That
look
is
at this armor. It's also king's
this is
armor, right? Let's say again.
yeah,
Please, Otto
yeah,
Heinrich. Please. Okay, Nuremberg 1533, right? So who
yeah,
made it? If the maker is also signed, Hans Ringler, the famous
yeah.
Ringler from Nuremberg, 1533. Please take a look at this piece of work. Unbelievable.
I'm just looking at the figures, the gilded figures on the blackened armor. It's got a kind of cross between a mermaid and a centaur shooting a bow. Notice I immediately see a bow.
Let me just show it again. It
Yeah,
is talking about that. Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing.
But again, see the armorer not just knows how to make armor that works and protects the horse or protects the man, but they've worked out how to enhance its looks so that I mean the man that can afford this is incredibly rich and he wants to show off. He wants to be safe, he wants to be able to take part in battle, but he wants to show off.
Oh, God. Speed, look.
Yeah, this is brilliant stuff.
God.
It's interesting the I'm not sure, but I think the shoulder harnesses on the man are symmetrical, so it's not like a jousting arm. This is a maybe meant to be a fighting arm.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a jousting armor. No, no. And we are
Yeah.
going to see later on when I prepare them, not today. I have
Hmm.
tons of pictures of jousting armor, and we can compare them to fighting armor. They're completely different. And this museum has the
Oh yeah,
most
yeah. And
extensive.
the difference between foot armor
Yes,
and horse armor as well. I
we
mean,
are
not
going
the
to
horses.
see lots of European armor. And the most extensive collection of jousting armor I've seen is in this museum. So, but they're
Mm.
different. We are going to see them later. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they're different purposes. I mean,
Yes.
it's sport and war really.
And then you can see as well there, for all those friends of us who always say, oh, why didn't they use plate armor in Asia? You will clearly see, and the museum also explains very well. In French, they explain. You can see, even if you don't read French, you can tell. The jousting armor plates, you see they're much thicker
Yeah.
than the fighting ones. You can see that. But the
Yeah.
reason is clear, Beat. Could you just explain the purpose and reason? Because people always say, oh, jousting armor, look, European armor, jousting. Even the plate armor were different. Please, could you just explain for our viewers again?
Well,
I know we
yeah.
talked about
Well, see, in jousting, the idea is that at the end of it, both people are still alive, and they don't have broken arms and broken legs and broken collarbone. So jousting armor is much thicker, but they could afford to make it thicker because you only wore it for 15 minutes
exactly.
or an hour at the most.
Yes.
And it's all unscrewed. You could take different pieces off
Yes.
and relax. The helmets in later forms of jousting armor basically attached directly to the upper part of the body armor. So
Yes.
you couldn't turn your head or anything. But you're only doing one thing.
Yeah.
So they're optimized for that thing. The harness that you used in battle, you had to wear it all day.
Yeah.
And it had to allow you to be able to open the helmets and breathe easily and things like that because you would get overheated on a hot day if you didn't. Um, you had to be able to be comfortable because it's all very well to have the ultimate protection, but if you go mad from wearing it after an hour, either because heat stroke, which is a real possibility, or just the fact that you feel so restricted. Could you imagine a jousting armor being worn by somebody with claustrophobia?
Oh, God,
It
no.
would it would drive you crazy.
Drive you crazy.
And that feeling of being enclosed and hot and breathing. But if you're doing it for 15 minutes, you get on your horse, you put your helmet, well, somebody puts your helmet on you, and you charge out in the lists and, you hit somebody and maybe you do that twice or three times, then you go back into the pavilion, you take it all off and you cool down. But in battle, you can't do that. Your armor has to be light enough to wear all day. It has to be well enough fitted that you can do all the normal things that a person would
Yes.
want to do.
Yes.
And certain things like enclosed helmets and things like that, when you're in battle and you've got to take orders,
Mm.
you have to be able to kind of open your helmet up enough that you can hear what's going on and close it down when you charge. This is the reason sometimes knights' charges got out of control. Ah, for the dog.
Dog armor.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1650.
1650. Yeah.
Yeah. Flemish, they call it, right? Look at this.
Wow. That in English, if that was a man's armor, you'd call that a jack, where
Jack.
the armor is strengthened by all this embroidery, the
Yes.
stitching, and
Yes.
apparently it was really good.
Yes. Look at
I
this,
mean,
Pete.
when you
I can
compare it,
show it to you. Look. Look how thick this damn thing is. Oh God.
oh yeah, yeah, this the whoever made this made armor for people as well, for
Yes.
sure. This is very, this is
Could
really
you
good
explain
quality.
what
When
is
you look
made
at,
of, Pete, just for our viewers again, please?
well, so you take a piece of fabric and then you get thick thread and you stitch it through like, well, like buttonholes, except in little circular patterns. There are no
Yeah.
they can be holes there, but they're necessarily not.
Yeah.
So each little flower-like shape is lots and lots of thick thread holding onto the background, going all the way through and coming all the way back through.
Yeah.
So this makes a thick, strong material that doesn't have, like if you cut a piece here, the rest of it doesn't unravel because each of those pieces is a strong little knot of thread.
Yeah.
It's really well done. I haven't seen one quite as attractive as, I mean, for your puppy, I suppose you get a lot of trouble.
Pete,
But
I have to say, this museum has over like 600,000 pieces. You don't see
mm,
one average piece there. No matter
no,
from
this,
which culture. No matter from which culture. Everything there is wow. It's unbelievable.
yeah,
It's so,
that is amazing, though. England, they loved jacks in the 15th, 16th century
uh,
because it's a light armor that protects you from random sword cuts and
yes.
the odd stab. I mean, it's not like mail or something like that, but it's a lot lighter to wear and probably more comfortable.
Yes, Pete, we are going to go back to this museum because I have lots of things to do with you.
Oh,
But
yeah,
today
this
we
is
wanted
beautiful.
just to concentrate on animal armor. That's why, guys, we didn't talk so much about the man's armor, right? Knight's
Mm.
armor, but we are going to do it later on. We have tons of it. But my question again to Pete, how did you like these things today?
I think it was. See, we got to look at different cultures, and everybody was making beautiful
Yeah,
equipment.
yeah,
I mean, different styles, different ideas, different purposes, but at that top level, you're going out of your way to make it look beautiful as well as being functional.
yeah,
And I will admit, the only one that I think was purely a parade armor was the Japanese one, and that's because everything I've read from Japan suggests that's what it was for. Because you never, I mean, the Japanese have lots of paintings and prints and that of people battling unarmored, but you never see anybody on a horse in armor.
yeah.
So my guess is that they knew about horse armor, didn't think it was practical, but then at a certain stage, maybe in the Edo period, under the shogunate, the Tokugawa, maybe they just said, let's just go all out. Let's make a horse armor and let's make it look like a dragon. Because there's
Yeah.
I've got a book by I think 1700s Japanese expert on armor translated into English, and he comments that there was a fashion to make really antique armors that were useless in battle today, because today was for him 1700 where there were guns. Whereas the really practical armor, which is the solid plates, lacquered, and that folds around your body, and that they ignore that when they want the giant neck guards on the helmets. This is the same kind of thing. Very rich people saying, I want something to stand out. I want this horse to be led in front of my palanquin when I'm going to visit the shogun to show, how rich and whatever. I don't know. But you got to admit it's beautiful.
You know
And
what
you
it
would be
reminds me
impressed.
of? It's like someone says, I'm going to pick you up. And I say, okay, then I'm here with my family. No problem. Don't worry. I will pick you up. Then you have two kids, and the guy comes with a Lamborghini. How do you want to pick us up? Bring... oh, oh, I didn't think about that one.
I know.
Exactly.
It's so funny. But yeah, it happens. I've seen such I mean in France in a television series shot in France in the south of France, people driving these incredibly expensive cars. One of these cars would cost the same as my house. And they're beautiful. And it's great when it's a beautiful woman and a handsome man driving this car, but there's no room for anything else. I mean, there's no room. The doors, gull wing doors,
You
or
know,
doors that fold
Pete,
straight up, and it
I know a
looks so
guy who
beautiful.
has such a car
Yeah,
here in Germany.
yeah.
And it's so expensive, maintenance costs as well.
Mhm.
But the problem is insurance. So when he drives this car, he brings it out and he drives through the city, shows it off, right? Then
Mhm.
if he parks it, he makes sure that it's parked. If you go to a cafe, he can see the car the whole time. And
Oh
then he
yeah.
gets in and go back. I said, why didn't you park it in a parking lot? No, insurance doesn't cover if something happens. I need always to be there to look at it. And I just said, what kind of excuse me? I mean,
Oh, look, I really, I see that uh, that you have to be rich enough that you don't care what happens to the car to own
exactly.
a car like that and really show off. You, in the case of the Japanese horse armor, you have to be rich enough that you don't care if your horse suddenly decides to roll in the mud and jump up with
Exactly.
all the bits broken off. You've got to be that rich. I can just get another one.
Yes,
it's,
exactly. Good
it's
point.
so
Good comparison, right?
yeah,
That's a real
yeah.
comparison.
I mean, if
Yeah.
I was that rich, maybe I'd do things like that. I don't think I could fit into one of those pretty cars, though. I think I'm too fat. But
Thanks
see,
a
in the
lot,
old
Pete.
days,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
that's a pleasure. It was really nice seeing that. They were really interesting pieces. It's amazing what the French have.
Yes, really. Thanks a lot, Pete, and hope to see
Bye.
you soon again, right?
Yeah.